Welcome back to the channel, guys, to another live training with yours truly. Today we're going to talk testosterone, perhaps my favorite topic to get into, and I'm going to give you 5 bulletproof strategies that you can start employing today to get those testosterone levels up naturally. That's right, naturally. No drugs, no supplements, no nothing, just real world solutions, hard hitting real world solutions. You know, we are living in an age of emasculated men. We are living in the age of low testosterone. Studies show that the average male is losing 1% of his testosterone every year. That's 25% every generation. That means you are half the man your grandfather was, statistically speaking, if we're looking at testosterone. And that's a massive problem. Now, the culprit, the cause of this, there are many suspects. We hear about chemical toxicity, environmental pollution, industrial food processing, radiation, and other environmental factors. But there's no definite answer, and there's certainly no clear-cut solutions when low testosterone issues are discussed. But we're going to change that. I'm going to tell you first and foremost what really causes low testosterone, and you're not going to like it. The reason you are facing low testosterone issues, the reason low testosterone today is so common, is lifestyle. People are too fat, too sedentary, and too stressed out. Too disconnected from nature, really. Now, there are examples where people are very skinny and very little body fat and still face symptoms of low testosterone. We'll get to that as well. However, for the most part, it's carrying too much excess body fat. It's being too sedentary, and it's living life separate from nature. So what can you do? Simple. Step number 1 to maximize your testosterone levels is to eat a high-calorie diet. Eat liberal amounts of protein and fat, and make sure you're eating enough. Eating abundantly for your body. Now, people might come at me, and rightfully so, and say, well, but you just said we're too fat. Society's too fat. How does this work in our favor? Very good question. Here's the thing. Step number 2 is, in fact, to fast and undereat in order to get lean. For males, the number 1 reason they face low testosterone issues is being overweight, is being too fat. That's the number 1 reason. It's a simple chemical process where testosterone is being converted into estrogen, the female sex hormone, in your fat cells. So the less body fat you have, the less aromatase you will have. Aromatase is the enzyme that converts testosterone to estrogen. So the better your hormonal profile will be. So you got to get lean. But I also told you, first step is to eat a high-calorie diet. Because when I say you got to get lean, I don't mean go on a diet. I don't mean do low carb. I don't mean don't eat for 40 days unless you're very, very overweight. I mean, eat a high-calorie diet, eat a lot of protein, a lot of good quality fats, a solid amount of carbohydrates. Eat enough so you fuel your body and you can perform at a very high level. And then you introduce days of undereating. We talked about this plenty on this channel. You introduce strategically into your week days where you eat very little food and days where occasionally you don't eat at all. You do a 40, a 48, up to a 72-hour fast to cut fat. This is the best way to cut body fat. And this is also the only way where you're going to cut fat and see a big bump, a big increase in testosterone function. How do you know? Easy, brothers. The other day on our live training, one of the viewers was asking me how my testosterone levels are following this lifestyle that I'm living right now with the frequent training, the intermittent fasting, all the other stuff that I do. And he was asking me about blood work, and I said I haven't gotten blood work done recently. However, for a male, the easiest thing is to figure out his testosterone levels. Not exact numbers, obviously, but it's the easiest thing for you as a man to know if you have high or low testosterone. Specifically when your testosterone levels are high, bro, you just feel it. It's not just the fact that you wake up with a boner every morning. It's not just the fact that you're building muscle easily, cutting fat rapidly, without all that extra work and suffering. Truly, it almost happens naturally at that point when your hormone levels are in check. So your mind is sharp, you have high energy, you're very goal-oriented, very driven. That's high testosterone right there. So if you don't have these things, if you're struggling to lose body fat, if you're struggling to get stronger in the gym and to build muscle, if you're always anxious and depressed, if you're always low energy, in a foul mood, have bad sleep, I can guarantee you have low testosterone levels. So I gave you the first two steps, which is basically nutritional. Testosterone loves high calories. Testosterone loves high fat and enough carbohydrates. So make sure you're not just eating your chicken breast and tilapia and whatnot. Don't just eat protein on top of protein. Eat a good amount of energy substrates in the form of fat, specifically mono, unsaturated, and saturated fatty acids. High quality fats and a decent amount of carbohydrates. You want to cycle those days and perhaps weeks of high calorie eating with periods of low calorie eating, periods of under eating, periods of lack, in a sense. You want to cycle in these short famines. And then strategically, you also want to place in some prolonged fasting into your weekly or your monthly routine. This is critical. Once you get to that low level of body fat that you need to get to, once you're somewhat ripped, you can ease up on the fasting and the under eating and eat high calorie diet for the bulk of your week, for the bulk of the time. This is the best place to be. You're going to have to put in the work to get there, but this is the best place you can possibly be, basically when you're in my shoes or similar. I'm at a place where I can eat liberally on most days. I don't have to fast. I don't have to restrict my calories on a regular basis. I simply do it to stay sharp. The fasting, the prolonged fasting, I do it for mindset only. That's only mindset for me at this point. However, I am at a level of body fat where I can get away with a lot of food without gaining weight. Do you see, my insulin sensitivity is so high. My body at this point is so receptive to the food that's coming in that it's being partitioned properly. My food, my fuel goes into muscle, goes to other vital processes in the body. It doesn't get stored as body fat anymore. So get to this place by fasting on a regular basis, by getting your macros right. Getting your macros right on days where you eat, days where you under eat. Obviously, on days where you fast, you don't have to worry about macros, but get your macros right. Eat enough protein, eat a good amount. I recommend a high amount of fat in your diet if you want high testosterone levels. Now, third step is to get strong and get durable in the gym. You want higher testosterone levels? Give your body a reason to produce more testosterone. Go to the gym, get strong. Whether you're training body weight or pushing weights, get strong and become more durable, more resilient physically. So do some cardio, do some sprints, do some high intensity body weight drills that really push you to your limit. Then recover, come back again, a stronger, better, higher testosterone version of yourself. Step number 4. This is what I'm doing right here. Right here. Get more sunlight. Sunlight is huge. Sunlight exposure is huge for your health and particularly for your testosterone levels. So the more the better. Especially if you live in Europe or you're living somewhere far from the equator, you want to get as much sunlight exposure as possible. I noticed a huge difference when I moved here to Latin America. A huge difference. The only change really in my lifestyle at that point was the fact that I got in a lot of sunlight. I live right at the equator here, so the sun is so intense you don't have to spend a lot of time in the sunlight to produce adequate amounts of vitamin D. Now, if you live in Europe, somewhere far in the northern or southern hemisphere, you might have to spend more time in the sun. Personally, I don't worry about sunburn anymore. I don't worry about sunscreen. I don't even get sunburned anymore. Living in Latin America, I'm in the sun for hours almost every day. I don't get sunburned anymore. Obviously, this is use your own common sense and be somewhat cautious, but get more sunlight in. This is non-negotiable if you want high testosterone levels. And the last step, brothers and sisters, is to prioritize sleep, is to get a good amount of sleep in, but it's not so much the duration, it's quality. When it comes to sleep, quality is king. So you can get more restful sleep in 6-7 hours than somebody who sleeps 8-9-10 hours if you're doing it properly. So set a sleep routine for yourself. Go to bed and wake up at around the same time every day. Get some sunlight exposure. Let me just close this window here because it's very noisy. Get some sunlight exposure early in the day. That will also help with testosterone production. And with the production of your sleep hormone, melatonin. So if you get more sunlight in early in the day, you will produce more melatonin later in the day, which will help you get to sleep faster and to have more, reach that deep, restful state of sleep. And that's pretty much it. You do these 5 things, you won't have to deal with low testosterone ever again. Unless you have like some health condition, underlying health condition that is causing your low testosterone, you do these 5 things that I told you about right here, you will not face any of these issues. And like some of you guys know, I've had plenty of experience with low testosterone in my 20s. Now I'm 39 years of age, soon to be 40, and my testosterone is higher than it's ever been. Because it's not about age. To an extent. But unless, you're a grandpa, it's not about age. It's about lifestyle, like I said. Get lean. Be more physically active. Eat a high calorie, high fat, high protein diet. Get more sunlight in. Sleep better. And get stupid strong in the gym. You do these things, you're never going to experience low testosterone symptoms. Bro, just yesterday, I brought my wife to work. And this was early in the morning. And then I went to this neighborhood park to just bang out a quick session. I did dips and one-arm push-ups to absolute failure. The workout was done within 15 minutes. I was fried. But I was training in the fresh air, in the morning, getting a lot of sunlight in as I was training my body with high intensity. And I could literally feel the surge of testosterone in my body. And on my way back to my apartment, I just felt like Godzilla walking the streets. This is something anyone can experience. Anyone. You live according to nature's plan. You follow the 5 steps I gave you. You're never going to have low testosterone symptoms. Never. And if you're dieting too hard, if you're too stressed out at work, your family life, whatever the case may be, you might be going through phases of lower testosterone levels, but you must never stay there, brother. This must never be something that you live with. You now have the solutions. It's not a supplement, bro. It's certainly not TRT. TRT is the quick fix. TRT is the solution for people who can't figure this out, who can't do this naturally. It's not rocket science. You have to play by the rules of nature. Then you will never face low testosterone symptoms. Eat a high-calorie diet, fast and undereat to get razor sharp, low body fat. Get strong and durable in the gym. Get more sunlight. Like I told you, the more the better. And prioritize sleep. These are your 5 remedies, your 5 strategies for sky-high testosterone levels. Let's get it, brothers and sisters. Talk to you guys soon. I'm out.